Here we are, week 2 of the Tongue Tie Off podcast on the Pace Setters AU website. G'day, Bon.
How are you, Codes? I think it's been a pretty good start, hasn't it? The feedback's been lovely. It's a bit of added pressure second up from a break because first up we just jumped on and had a little bit of a chat amongst ourselves. And I think we were jiggy jogging. I don't even think it was fast work.
Jiggy jogging.
We were just jiggy jogging. And then
I think so.
People enjoyed it. And I was like, well, that's not even fast work. I don't think we broke 30 seconds for any quarter. So we're ready to ramp it up. And I'm very excited. And we need to say thank you to everyone who's given us a bit of encouragement and some kind words, I would have thought.
We do. Yeah, we've had some good feedback, Jason. I'm sure you would have had some reach out to you, which we haven't seen on the socials or through the emails or whatever it is. But
Yes.
I've had people reach out to me just saying it's great to see you back and about. I mean, Blake Redden, it was awesome to hear from Blake, of course, your former offsider on the Good Form duo, Jace.
I hadn't heard from him for a long time. And then he was on the text and he obviously texted you as well. And he was encouraging it. And I reckon the Baker boy, Bakes, I was thinking about nicknames during the week. You being the baby goose because of your stunning resemblance to Ryan Gosling. The Baker boy is a good barometer, I reckon.
Yep.
He's just one of those content consumers that I reckon's got a pretty good idea. And he just said, you're on to a winner. And I thought, good on you, Bakes. Good on you, Bakes. So we're looking forward to kicking it up another nacho, aren't we? This is, though, it has to be said, a brutal meeting.
See, it's funny.
Break. We had our hard hit out last week, and this is hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the so just everyone knows you're the form expert, Jace. I'm not just trying to say this in a desperate attempt to handball the fact that I struggled last week, but you are the form guru. Okay. I was I was short of a run, I reckon. I've had my trial now. I feel better for it. Although 2 best bets seconds, that's harsh. And then my each way one came 4th. Well, again, harsh. But what do you do? Did
you blow up a bit after last week?
Oh, well, look, I looked back at it and I thought, what could I have done differently? And I thought, well, I don't know. When they're both. So is this just fantasy $5?
Yes.
At the top of the straight, it's home for all money. And then it's not. Real quick, Dollar Geary, bang. Yeah. And the second one, what was the other win bet? Oh, Hesitate.
Yeah.
I didn't hesitate for a moment in declaring it, but I don't know.
He who hesitates is lost.
Yeah, and I just wanted to see Hesitate right up alongside that other horse a little bit earlier in the piece, but it wasn't Hesitate's grand final. I know Damien Burns has a massive opinion of that horse, but that's all part of the game, isn't it? It's about knowing which races to strike with these horses.
Well, you've got to take your prices as well. That's going to be critical with this meeting, I reckon, because there's only probably a couple of races I'm really keen to play in without knowing the quotes. But if you offer me a Fabergé egg for $40, I'm going to buy it. I used to watch Antiques Roadshow back in the day. One of Jan Bonington's favourites.
What is a Fabergé egg exactly? I mean, I can see it. I know what it looks like, but what is Fabergé?
I really wish you hadn't asked me that question because I don't have. It's an egg.
Yep.
And it's made by Fabergé. It's got all these lovely little patterns on it.
Okay.
You're all dressed up this week, so we've sort of switched.
We have.
I'm casual. I don't know if you can see this.
What's it looking at here?
I've even got the.
Oh, where's that going? All right. Hello.
Oh, geez. I've got pink shorts. Those legs. I probably didn't need to do that, did I? We might cut.
Well, we're not cutting that. That's gold, Jace. Gold.
Just quickly before we get stuck in.
Mm-hmm.
How's your week been?
It's been a good week. Been busy. Been doing the form. Been all right. Why do you ask?
No, just
to make idle chit chat.
Just thought it was nice to find out. I'm a man of leisure, as you know. Apart from doing this podcast, Adventure Pace Setters Tongue Tie Off. I've been watching The West Wing again, and were you a fan of the Larry Sanders Show?
I reckon that rings a bell from my days of Ozstar back in about the late 90s, early 2000s in the country.
Surely you must have been the only person in the land with Ozstar. Is that right?
Yeah. J-Bond, anyone else in the metro area, you guys had all the bells and whistles. We had 2 channels.
I'm from Detroit, by the way.
But Geelong was metro, wasn't it? You would have had channel 7 and 10 and 9. Ours was called Win or ABC, or Southern Cross, sorry, and ABC, and that's all we had.
We better get stuck in. Are
We
you
better
old
get
enough?
stuck in.
You're a little bit younger than me, but do you remember having to go up to the TV and change the channels?
I do.
What is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We're both old. Fair
Had
enough.
the knob. You'll recall, Jace, on the TV.
The knob.
That's right.
Welcome to Tongue Tie Off.
The channel knob.
This is the knob segment of the show.
Knob edition. Hey, two things before
Yeah.
we kick into the meeting. So we want to, this is only second episode. We still don't have all the bells and whistles going. You might see a little bit of graphic sort of excitement as we
We'll have
work
half
our
a
way
bell
through
and,
this one.
and a bit of a.
Yep,
I
a
can't
little whistle. But a couple of ideas, Jace. Black bookers, right? They've always been a big part of my form.
Used to
What if
carry
we-
it around. I remember. Yeah. Black book.
I did, in the pocket there. What if we did them a little differently? It's easy to find 7, 8, 9 black bookers for a meeting. I do it every week. You'd be doing it too. There's plenty of people who do it, and it's great. But I thought, how can we do things a little bit differently, Jace? What if we put the pressure on ourselves to come up with one black booker every Saturday night, one each, right? We don't tell each other what it is. And the idea here is that if there's 7 horses you think, geez, they're all ones to follow, there's only one that you put at the top of the list, Jace, the numero uno.
Oh, so and we'll do like the Oscars, or we'll have nominations. You'll give your top 4, and then we'll do the big reveal. And when you say we won't tell each other, we will tell each other on the podcast. Yeah, we're not.
Yeah,
it's not one of those things that's going to be a total clandestine. No,
I should have been clear. Miming would be shithouse on a podcast.
It's an early idea. I would love to do a bit of miming.
All right. Well, there's segment number 3. We've got. I'll reel off the second one, then you can talk about the mime.
You've got a second idea. So what's the second idea?
So the Black Bookers is the first. Black Booker.
Solo.
And the other one is now the voting system, right? Trainers and drivers. And I'm trying to cast my mind back to exactly how the Midnight Medal worked. I was only a tacker when that was at its absolute peak, but I'm wondering if it was trainers and drivers, or if it was just drivers. Don't know.
I think it was both.
And this is on the run. So you just tell me if this is a stupid idea. We both give 3, 2, 1 every week. And it can be, James Herbertson might drive 5 winners, or someone else might just get one really good winner. And you've got to say, okay, who gets my 3 votes? Am I giving it to the 5 winners? You probably would. 5's pretty special. Or am I giving it to the best driver of the night? And look, it all evens out. And at the end of whenever, we give a prize of some sort, whatever is in the budget, which is very little at the moment.
So do we? I was going to say, I'm not sure we know what the prize is going to be yet. It'll be enormous.
Oh, special.
There's a good chance it's going to be a Fabergé egg. I can't guarantee that. Don't expect a Fabergé egg, but I'll try and get my hands on one. At sale, $40. Here's what I'd like to know. Because we're starting late in the year, do we truncate this one and it finishes on December 31st, and then we start it all again?
I think that makes a lot of sense.
By the start of 2025, we're going to have about 9,500 subscribers and about 45,000 regular listeners, just based on early stats and demographics. That'll be a big one. But I think sponsors are already knocking the door down, so don't worry about the prize. The prize will take care of itself. I like that idea. I like both ideas.
Right.
The Black Booker idea is very restrictive, but I like it. It gives value and impetus to that one Black Booker each week. I like it.
I do wonder if we'll often find the same Black Booker, because Black Bookers can be pretty obvious, can't they?
Yeah. But I think what we're going to try and do, if we're going to measure it against the price that they might win in the next 3 starts, for instance, we're not looking for the big red light siren run, are we? We're probably looking for one that we reckon we might get at a price out wide, off Broadway.
Yeah, you're not going with one of Clayton's unbeaten 2-year-olds that wins its 4th race in a row, and you say, geez, I reckon we might follow that one. Let's put that one in the Black Book.
Probably not.
All right.
First event on the card.
Yes, it is the Allied Express Pace again, Jace. I feel like that's the second week in a row. I'm starting to feel like they purchased that off from D&L Logistics.
There might have been a bartering, a trade done. AEP, we'll call it. The AEP, the first. First of all, now we are going to have the graphics and the maps come up, but because it's going to be done in post-production, I don't mind a slightly amateurish approach here. The map might come up roughly now, but I'm not 100% sure about this map. I've only given 4 critical maps because I reckon 6 of the races are too hard to work out. There's a standing start in there, please. Whoop.
Yep.
First event, though, You Betcha Tiger Pie. These are the possible leaders, in my opinion. I am Joe, but not that humble. You Betcha Tiger Pie, I favour to lead. I reckon Just Little Sit might have a little crack. And Outlaw Man is the other one. The one thing I'm pretty confident of, and early Flux would agree with me, that Perfect Class, first up from a break, no trial that I can find, I don't think it's going to be able to work to the top. Any which way. Thoughts, discuss.
I agree with you that I don't think the early favourite in Perfect Class will be working to the top, but I don't have You Betcha Tiger Pie in front. I've gone with one of your other ideas there, Jay. So I think Outlaw Man gets a chance to find the lead. Yep. But I just don't think You Betcha Tiger Pie, I don't think it has the gate speed to hold out Outlaw Man if Outlaw Man goes handlebars down.
Well, he's developed more early speed You Betcha Tiger Pie, but the key here, 3 times from the pole marking draw, and this is one of my little David Copperfield, Chris Angel mind for little tricks. When you're doing gate speed, when you're studying, you've got to look at every pole marker and their record when beginning from the pole. Because you have those musterers, don't you? Some horses who lead, but they don't have that ping. And maybe You Betcha Tiger Pie doesn't have it. The only thing I thought maybe Just a Little Sit might run cover and make it harder for Outlaw Man. But it interested me because it changes my perception of the race slightly because I found one at odds here, I reckon. But now you've got it. Now you've got it 3 poles instead of behind the leader. You said you'd found one. You didn't tell me who it was, but you hinted at finding something at very big odds here. It might not be in your game plan, but you thought it might have a hope at massive cricket score odds.
Yeah, I did. And that's horse number 2 here, Platinum Stride, Jay. So I'd be interested in your opinion on Platinum Stride. In my notes here, I've got that 4th in the 154.7 to Captain Hammerhead, who was your best bet. We should just give a little shout out, Jace. Went bang last week. No fancy price at the end, but was black and white figures when you were tipping it. So
they launched into it. There are a couple of big bets already.
They did. This guy ran 55 flat home off the peg, so I thought it was a good run. If you go back through his form, he's run close up behind Yam Buckian in the Markovina free-for-all in April, which is good form for this sort of race. He's been placed in some really nice fast class cups, and I just think with the way this is a good barrier. This is a horse who, pretty sure doesn't often. I don't have the form in front of me right now. I've got the fields. I don't think
you look like you're playing a reed organ or something over there.
Don't mind me clicking around on the
one of those piano with 2 different keyboards. Yeah.
No, on the iPad, it doesn't. It hasn't drawn well for a while. It doesn't have a lot of gate speed, so it doesn't necessarily get to use the good draw. But I don't think he necessarily has to in a race like this, Jace. Barrier 2 though, lob a nice position, $34. I think it's overs.
I reckon that our viewers and listeners on the podcast and vodcast here, tongue tie off, would be happy that you have an iPad and not a keyboard. Just for those who don't know, and having worked closely with a baby goose here, Cody Winnell, not Nathan Jack, no human being in history has hit a keyboard harder. You come
not
from
true.
down. You come from downtown.
It's not true though. There is one man who may be watching the show, Paul Amy, the football writer from the VFL and a lot of Southern.
Geez, I'd love to
leagues.
See a contest, a head-to-head between the 2 of you.
He has replaced so many space bars through his days at Leader Newspapers.
True crime documentary for Chris Elford, the space bar murderer.
But Jace, I think that's the one at overs. But I am tipping in the race. I'm still siding here with. I'm still siding with Perfect Class. I'm still siding with Perfect Class, but not with any confidence. And I'm not saying outside of backing the one I like at odds. Whose name I should Platinum Stride. I've got to get used to this iPad setup. I really do. I just think that I still think Perfect Class has got the runs on the board to win this race.
I just hope you haven't got a mild blood clot at the moment that is moving towards the neural pathways in the cerebral. So race 1, just quickly, and you'll now see hopefully another graphic come up on the
Mm.
screen. Pace setter profiles. So these are the key stats. I've got them for races 1 and 2. I'll go through these quickly. Perfect Class. The reason that I'm again and not with Perfect Class, leading, unbelievable record. Not leading, I know in very, very good races a lot of the time, but struggles to win. And you'll also, this is a staggering stat here with Le Captain. The Candyman Greg Sugars, the record is 10 wins from 36 starts with a great man aboard. And whenever, this is not having a go at anybody else who jumps on, but sometimes you just get a kinship between a pilot, a driver, and a horse, a standardbred. And Gregory and La Captain have one because this horse has only won 2 from 40 without him. So I'm thinking if You Bet Your Tiger Pie leads behind the leader, La Captain, they've already nibbled. They've already masticated and nibbled 17 into 13, but I'd be backing it each way or 1 by 2 now. And if you think, if the map is like yours and you think 3 poles, maybe place only. And the other one that's flying, if they go batshit crazy, District Attorney's going well, they might. If You Bet Your Tiger Pie, Outlaw Man get into a war, Perfect Class wants to roll up and put the pressure on, they could go really quick here.
They could, and District Attorney is a very, very nice horse. Some of those wins going back just show that this horse could be, a potential very, very good fast class racehorse. I want to throw this scenario at you, Jace. If Outlaw Man does get the lead early, which my map says, right, Perfect Class just works forward, gets to the chair.
Yeah.
What's going on with Yambuckian? If it makes that early move to get up to the breeze, the favourite's not going to allow that. So it then runs to the front with Outlaw Man, of course, being a stablemate of Yambuckian. Yambuckian then is in the chair. The favourite's done some work early. Yambuckian backs itself in to beat the favourite from the breeze. Outlaw Man ends up behind the leader at some point during the race. Your thoughts?
I can't see that happening. I don't think Outlaw Man wouldn't be giving up the lead. Perfect Class wouldn't be giving up the breeze. So I think that Yambuckian is just driven to go 3 wide, no cover at the right time. And Outlaw Man, in that scenario, there's no team driving, but might be running along. Might be running along a little bit in front.
Yeah, but there's no team drive, of course. But with Yambuckian coming round, you'd probably think, oh, I'm not badly from behind the leader, behind the favourite who's had its edge taken off early.
Yeah, maybe. Personally, I think that's an unlikely scenario, but I don't know if it'll go on the game plan. And by the way, I've loved hearing money race, game plan, and all these things come back into the vernacular.
Terms. Brilliant.
So there are our thoughts on race 1. Race 2 is another one I've done the map for. I'm keener on playing in this race than you. Would you deem that accurate, young man?
That is a very, I concur, good sir.
So, Aldebaran.
I have a sip of my Shiraz. Just pardon me one moment.
How's the nose? Your aroma.
It's all good. Look at this ID22, Jace, the old...
That's not one of the bottles of wine from Harness Racing Victoria, is it?
No, it's not.
It's aged nicely. Not. It would have been worth every bit of $4.50. Second event. So, good trial by Aldebaran Zeus. And we might go with we'll go with the map first again. Aldebaran Zeus should be fine in the front. Now, there's going to be a little war, a little skirmish, a little battle between the 1 and the 2, Sometimes Courage and Gaelic Lad. Gaelic Lad flies out, though. It should get across. A couple of 100 metres later, a furlong, a couple of moments, a cup of tea. We'll just maybe just boiling the kettle. Aldebaran Zeus will be in front. Aldebaran Zeus, there's the map, and here's the key stats. Unbelievably, and this is way more important in the trots than it ever used to be, I reckon. It used to be a thoroughbred stat. Aldebaran Zeus, 3 runs fresh, and that's disincluding its debut performance, which it won. 3 runs fresh from a proper break, a few months. Never been beaten. Troll the house down. Unbelievable record when leading. Never unplaced. 14 wins, 19 starts. And critically, there's another little stat there. Well, there's a couple. Olivici goes way better in front, as most horses do. It won't get the front. And their head-to-head record, does that stagger you? 8 times they've met. Aldebaran Zeus has won or finished ahead of Olivici on 7 of the 8 occasions. I know discounting one overall at the moment. But gee, I tell you what, there's a lot of reasons here to like Aldebaran Zeus.
My oath, and that is
I'm with it.
yeah.
I'm making it my best bet in the card.
Yeah, that is a staggering head-to-head stat. I would
Mm.
not have picked that for a moment. I liked Aldebaran Zeus too. Love seeing this horse back. I could be wrong, Jace, but was this not the horse that shot for home super early in a Vic Bred or a Breeders' Crown and actually was in front? And coming off the back was absolutely rolling out in front and then got a stitch at about the 180 or 170 and just couldn't finish it off as a 2-year-old maybe.
I'll say yes. I can't quite recall.
But that's not technically leading early. That's I think it might have gone to the lead down the back there, and Chris has gone for home, the pup, and the horse hasn't finished it off. And if it's the wrong horse completely, I apologise, and we all just move on.
You got to remember though, young man. Well, you're not that young if you use the knob. That Aldebaran Zeus in its early days, there were a few potters, weren't there? There were a few haters that were like, he's quick, but he's
yeah.
There's not a lot of bottom to him. Well, he's disproven. That's a myth.
Yeah, no, I wasn't one of them, but I do know. I remember it well. But he's always oozed massive class. And have we got a price?
Yeah, $2 is good enough for me.
Okay. Yeah, my oath. What odds is Olivici?
I think he might be third favourite. One overall is the second favourite. Now, one overall is an outstanding. Once upon a time, this moron that used to be in the media for Harness Racing Victoria and a few other outlets said one overall might be the new Tornado Valley. He had no idea and was made redundant as a result. But he's a very good horse, but he's a rogue. I mean, if Aldebaran Zeus is in front, it will take a Herculean performance from anything to beat him. And you don't know what you're going to get with one overall. Very good horse.
$3 into
much like a
$2.
rogue.
$3 to $2 Aldebaran Zeus. One overall, $2.50 out to $3 in early markets.
Nice.
Olivici $4.20 and hasn't moved, and there's really nothing. Is there anything else you want to know about here, Jace? Sundance Courage is $2 the place, which is kind of speaking to what I said last week about those early fixed odds.
The meaning of
prices. $17 and $2 for Sundance Courage.
You can tell me the meaning of life. That would be fantastic.
Well, here's one. Would you consider for a place, Jace? Gaelic Lad, $14 the place.
That's a very unusual answer to the meaning of life. What's the meaning of life? Well, here it is. It's about whether Gaelic Lad can run a drum at 14. Yeah, I'd accept that because, right, if it's behind the leader, Aldebaran Zeus in front, Olivici goes to the breeze, because you'd reckon it'll get off the inside easy because one overall doesn't score up half the time. But does Olivici want to lay down the law?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I wouldn't, even though it's first up from a break. I've already outlined the great fresh record. So I'd be thinking behind the leader. Yes. I don't know if it's the meaning of life. No, I don't think it is. But yes, $14 a place might be worth a bet. It won't be my game plan, but I'll tell you what, will be Aldebaran Zeus to win.
One of these books back here,
Terry Pratchett?
like to read a little bit there. No, one of them did actually tell me that Gaelic Lad, $14 the place. I've read it somewhere along the way. Was the real meaning of life. So don't knock it.
I think that's Dickens. I reckon that's in David Copperfield.
You might be onto something there. Race 3, Jace, the Ben Stud Standard Breds Pace Final.
Now you like one here.
Some heats.
I'm gonna do a bit of Pagan's Paddock here.
Yep.
And I'm gonna let you go because I am not keen on this race whatsoever. I do believe the best horse in the race is Rock and Roll Waller.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way you headed?
Well, I look at my summary from my form study late last night, and I see for mine all the big guns are drawn out the back, with the exception of My Uncle Stan.
Yeah.
And I suspect that Jodie Quinlan here can work to the front from barrier 7. I think she can work her way forward at her own pace and eventually find the lead. But I do think there'll be scorching pace straight off the arm. But pretty much El Boston, Lil's Nightmare, Wingate Guy, they can all ping. But all of them will be pretty keen to hand up when Jodie comes knocking, in my opinion, on My Uncle Stan for Rick the cash man. Remember the pokies, the cash man? Dancing around a little coin. Shout out to Rick Cashman. I think then you've got horses like Leyden, Hey Go You Good Thing, Duke's Choice, and the Bond mentioned Rock and Roll Waller. All very nice horses. all coming through, really good runs in their heat. I think they can all go forward and get into the mix at some point. But I think from the front, my Uncle Stan will take a hell of a lot of beating. And for that reason, I think you'll get, I hope you'll get a reasonable price. I haven't seen a market yet because guess what, Jace? There ain't no markets open. I'd love to see them open, but they're not.
What does it say on the HRV site for
harness.org.au?
For Stanley. Stanley Kowalski.
$5.50. Now, I'd be happy with $5.50. And I look at that price and think, yep, I might be tipping something in a bit of value here. Did you have an opinion on how the market might look?
I would have thought that it will be well in the market, but I would have thought the favourites would be Rock and Roll Waller and Duke's Choice. They both started real short. Great English one. Really short in their qualifiers.
Yep.
So I'm thinking those two. And to be honest, if you're happy to just get a bit of cream off the top, I'd nearly be having a bundle bet with the bottom three.
Yeah.
Leyden, Duke's Choice, and Rock and Roll Waller, but you might get $1.40. But you've done your research. You've come heavily armed, second up from a break, and this is a race that you like, so I'm sticking with you. Just quickly, I found this.
What's this?
I don't drive, so there's my proof of age card.
That's good, Jace. Look at that.
This is what 18-year-olds carry around because they don't drive, but I'm 44.
Did you wear that jacket last week?
Which one?
The one that you've got on the proof of age, or is that not a jacket? It's just a shirt.
No, that's a different jacket. I have the beige, the off beige, the white.
Of course you do.
The off white, the beige. That's just that's more of a bone colour.
Nice. Well, Jace, back to the race. I want to play a trifecta here, and I hope for the value being in number 7, because I think between 7, 9, 11, 12, and 13, the gaps in the class in this race, I think they'll all be fighting it out. If the 7 can win, you get a bit of juice. So you could nearly box them up, which is a very unharnessed racing type bet.
Or rove with the 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I like a rover.
To go run first and second, or first, second, and third.
Yep.
Whichever way you want to do it. Now, I'm also not keen on the 4th.
Yeah,
I don't know how you found one here, to be honest.
Well, it's not so much.
Can I have a guess first?
You
got
can.
One? Just got one?
No. I've got
I've got
two. Well, I've got 2 plays, but yeah, there's one horse I like to win.
Elderbaron Miley?
No, it's not Elderbaron Miley. No.
I'll tell you what, the first couple of weeks of me trying to guess what you found, it ain't going super. What have you found?
It'll come good, that. Yeah, it was Moonwalker. Yeah. I think Moonwalker hasn't run a bad race for Andy Gathers yet, but just hasn't found itself in a position to actually land the knockout blow that I think Moonwalker's always had in him. I suspect Moonwalker's a fairly nice trotter.
Yes.
Barrier 1. Barrier 1 absolutely now gets its chance to represent the Gath stable and just come out and dominate this field. I go on the 2nd to Kiang Stuka, which is a very nice trotter. I like Kiang Stuka.
Can I just quickly just go off course just for a moment before we get stuck into the quaddy leagues?
Go for it.
Are you one of the people that don't believe that they ever landed on the moon?
No, of course they did.
You're not much of a conspiracy theorist, are you? Have you got any that Area 51, aliens?
So I'll tell you this,
Illuminati.
Right? Now, Jace. Now, let's be fair dinkum. How many galaxies or whatever you want are there out in the world? Not our world, in the actual whatever that thing is out there.
The universe, the cosmos.
The cosmos. How many galaxies are there, Jace?
Well, they're virtually infinite because the cosmos continues to expand. Yeah.
Now, here we are sitting on a podcast talking trots in Australia here in Melbourne.
There's a song called "Sitting on a Train." Yeah, that could be my follow-up. Sitting on a podcast. Yeah, go.
Yeah. As if humans are the only beings in this whatever we're calling this cosmos.
I reckon they are.
They can't be. There's got to be other life out there. I don't think we'll ever find them because I don't think humans will ever develop the capability to get that far, Jace.
Well,
and I don't think the other beings will find us either.
Well, that's the issue. If they are, because whenever you, this is beautiful. Whenever you think of this idea that the extraterrestrial beings are supposed to be incredibly like.
That's because we said they were
intellects than us.
Rubbish. Who says that? How would we know that? We don't even know they exist. And we're straight away assuming they're smart.
You're the one declaring that they do exist.
How could they not? what do you say, Jace, on when you weigh up on probability? Surely they exist.
This could go for 45 minutes. I think it's too much of a freakish set of unbelievable, extraordinary coincidences that we're here. And I don't think it's guaranteed.
This is back to the old
Jupiter
argument.
effect.
This is back to the old argument, which I'm very much in the Richard Dawkins corner, and I suspect you're the complete opposite of me.
I am.
Yep.
I believe in a divine creator. We don't make it into religion. Very quickly.
Save that for another episode.
I asked you about conspiracy theories, and in a way that goes into politics. I won't get into anything that you might have engaged in during the week, but you might have got a touch political at one point. I just want to throw it out there to the viewers and listeners and patrons and subscribers. I have written my first article for the Paysetters website.
Right.
It could be vetoed by you. It is fairly brutal. And I just wouldn't mind an opinion out there. Sort of just go with it. It's not embittered. It's not negative.
We're not about that.
No,
not
we're all about positivity.
Negative, and not even about positivity. No, we're not. We're not here to have a whack. You know, but if there's a whack to be
openness,
delivered,
glasnost,
that's
transparency.
Fine. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And I think everyone understands that, Jace. I think everyone that knows you and that knows I would and knows this project would understand. Well, you know what? If you got something to say it.
Usually do, and
usually do.
I think I'll be posting this, but let us know if you want to read it. Race 5, first leg of the quaddie.
Well, hang on. Can I just want to finish on Moonwalker. So I think Moonwalker wins, but I did want to just quickly say, Jace, that I think Illawong Lara J is absolutely flying, and I think it's the danger. And for that reason, I want to play Moonwalker to win. And I do want to stagger some tricks with 1 to win over 10, and then 2, 3, 8, and 13. 2, 3, 8, and 13 for second, with 10 for third, and then one little trifecta with Illawong Lara J to pull off the upset 10-1, and then 2, 3, 8, 13. And I'll put all that up in the weighting of the staggers, how much you should put on.
I'm not playing, I'm not keen, but if you're having early quaddies, final leg, the two that I would be including are Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, Alan Shepard, John Glenn, the Moonwalker, and I reckon they went there too, and Aldebaran Miley. First leg of the quaddie. Now,
great.
I saw Gorney's up on the website at $2, and I have I've been chatting with some wealthy investors to see if they can prop me up. Still got a little bit of cash left myself, but I'd be having the Cosmos and all of its extraterrestrial life forms on Gorn to win at $2. We won't get $2, but I can't see how it will possibly get beaten. Are you with me? I'm thinking it'll start at $1.12.
Yeah, I think it's immoral, but I don't have it in front. I don't think Kez will hand up the front, and I think she'll lead on the Sports Star, but I think Gorn will sit outside of it, will monster it, will get a break on its main danger before that main danger gets out, and we'll win easy.
All right, before we get stuck into the money race, how we're going to play it, I will bet you.
Here we go.
15 bottles of whatever Shiraz you're drinking.
Right.
And that guitar in the background. And also the book that's got the Gaelic Lad information in it. That Gorn will find the front. Because Max Gawn, the footballer, is quite a laconic creature. The standard bred only knows one way. And unless you want to be peeled off the Melton Composite, I think anyone would be handing out to Gorn. So,
well, that's presuming that they say we absolutely have to burn like even a little bit to get to the front to win this race, when actually they could probably just jog in the breeze and then just put them away anyway.
I think my perspective is he doesn't know how to jog.
Okay, fair call.
But we both got him to win, yes?
Yep.
Now,
I'm interested to find out who you think would be the main danger here, Jace.
Our mate Minko.
No, I don't have that.
Beach chopper for you?
No.
A small and a Winks?
No. Where's this going? No.
What? Is it in a race?
Have you been watching Shadow Celt's runs from debut right through?
That's all I do. I watch The West Wing. Then I watch Larry Sanders Show, and then all I do for the rest
Shadow
of the night,
Celt. Yep.
Yeah, I go to sleep just watching Shadow Celt's runs.
Andy
Gath watching Kiwi replays of trotters that he can buy.
I went back and watched all of Shadow Celt's runs. He kicked off with that beautiful picket fence. This horse has got a serious motor for the McGuigans.
Right.
And it's going to, in
Just
my
for the
map.
McGuigans.
Well, in my map, of course, it's going to get a beautiful run behind the leader. But even if it's 3 pegs, this is how it's been doing all of its wins. It sits back and it powers home at the end. And it's been bursting through basically from last, weaving passages and overpowering them. It's a nice horse. Ran third to Is This Just Fantasy at a price a couple of starts back at Melton. Drawn against the pegs over the sprint. It's got to be hard to hold out.
Oh, just quickly. Coming up on your screen now, hopefully. There it is. There it is. Hello. There's the map. This is the third map that I did. So I've got Gawn in front. I've actually got a small and a wings getting across the front. So we've got very different maps here.
We do.
Gawn to lead. So how are you playing this? I'll tell you, the way I might play a money race, I think our mate Menko is clearly second best horse in the event. I'd be going basically 7 to beat 10, to beat a number of others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 11, any which way you want to do it. And then maybe 7 to win, those to run second, and the Menko boy to run third. But you're Celting it. You might get a play. You might just get a place price for Celt that you don't have to play a money race.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm just so keen that I want to play the money race because I think you can play this. You can play 7 to beat 8 to beat 1, and then you can play 7 to beat 1 to beat 8, and then you can even play a very small one on 8 to beat 7 to beat 1.
You are dependent, reliant upon your map here. You are like you're going to sleep with a black book in one hand.
No, I'm not.
And the Atlas in the other.
Not really, because even if your map. Oh well, actually, sorry. Let me take that back. If Gawn leads and Keren's behind the leader, then I'm still quite comfortable with Celt to run a place. But if the 6 crosses, like your map says, and then Gawn crosses, then I might be in a bit more trouble, obviously.
Very quickly.
Yep.
Quaddy, 1 out. Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we've got
That's
to because it'll be super short. It should be winning easily. Yep.
All right. I'm glad we sorted that out.
That time of night, it's the Sweetheart race, Jace.
Love songs and dedications.
That's right.
Jay Bond and the baby.
Call us now.
Call us now. Have you been in a relationship with somebody and she told you to move out? Well, maybe you shouldn't stalk her. But if you would like to send her a love song, call us now on 04. No, I won't give away the number.
And after that, we'll have a little bit of Dr. Feelgood later in the night. Was that there was Pillow Talk, wasn't there too?
Oh, hang on.
A couple of interesting shows back in the 90s on FM.
Just bear with me.
Here we go.
You can join me. You've got the axe back there.
Here we go.
And by the way, I'll be recording that theme song during the week, hopefully.
Nice. So here's Jason Bonington. He's picked up the axe. Indeed, picked up the axe. Where are you going, Jace?
Did you like her, but she didn't like you? Did she go away and have a date with you? Oh, no.
It's just a little bit. But
Love it.
The theme
How
song's
good's that? How good's that? The issue, of course, is we can't hear the guitar, but it's your singing was magnificent.
Can't you hear it?
Not really, because of the mic there, but
Sounds like a banjo.
no, we're not on mute,
Yeah.
folks. Unfortunately, what J-Bon will do is when he breaks out this, because this could come out pretty regularly, we'll just have to set it up so we've got a mic down there near the guitar or plugged in.
I'll tell you one thing. You can definitely tell that I didn't set this whole thing up because I thought because the mic was there, you'd be able to hear it. Anyway, you got to see me finger picking a little bit.
A lot of people might be wondering why I said Sweetheart. It's race 6. It's the Elder Barron Park Sweetheart Trot Final.
Okay, honey. All right, darling. Tell me how to sort this out. Now, do I get partial credit, even though I had a conniption when I found out that it had won ahead of this race last Thursday before going on to win the final event on Saturday night? Do I get partial credit for Ken Escher on last?
Of course you do, because everyone saw it. I mean, you can't.
Are we
couldn't have
recording this
lied
thing?
about that. We're recording this thing on
Are we
Thursday.
distributing it
on Thursday nights, everyone saw your heartbreak, sweet
Yeah.
heartbreak, that it had won at $21
Ralph
at
Wiggum.
Maryborough. And then, Jace, it's funny because you sort of went cold because you thought, I'm not going to get a price. And it still paid $7 or $8. I think.
Didn't it win well? Like,
What easy.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to spend much time in this race. I've got
Yeah.
no idea. And you'd think we would have, given there was a qualifier only last week. But Keneshron, it's going to be in a very different scenario here, isn't it, to the last couple of starts? But the way she's going, I don't know why she can't win. But when we do our little combined quad,
Yep.
there's going to be a few involved.
Do you like that we're calling it the poddy quaddy too, just quietly, Jace, or the pod quad?
I tell you what, my friends, welcome to the Poddy Quaddy. Katie, we're now Jason Bonington Rudd. It's more about who you leave out than who you put in.
I thought Elderbarren Brook could find the front initially, but last start looked really flat. I think Picket Wire's going super, really well. There's some good form around Picket Wire. The horse I want to see is Kianguchi. This horse just has so many tricks and gets it wrong, but I just think once the penny drops,
Went big.
Hello, Ray Harvey. The penny drops. Once the penny drops with Kianguchi, I think this horse is a very nice trotter. But you know, 4 in every 5 starts will make a mistake.
Why do you enjoy saying Gucci so much?
Kianguchi. Kianguchi.
Gucci.
Do you what odds do you reckon Kianguchi is? It the sort of horse that you'll always see unders because everyone knows it's a nice trotter, but it'll just keep making mistakes?
No, I don't reckon.
You reckon
Well,
you get a
wasn't it-
price?
What price was it in the heat?
I don't know.
It wasn't short.
Let me
It was
look it
about
up.
$16, I think.
Okay, well, maybe you will get a reasonable price. That's the horse I'm keen to certainly include, and I think it'll win some races going forward as Jason just takes the guitar off, just for those that aren't watching, because, of course,
Bear
not
with
everyone's watching this video. Some will be listening to the audio, which is now only me, because J-Bond's now taken the headphones off. He's still got the mic in
Put
front
this
of him.
back. Just give me un momento.
He's wandering off now. So for those that are watching this visually, you'll see Jason's just left his base. He's just walked off. He's turned around. He's come back. This is my commentary now. This is like
It's not
this
easy
is like a
being
Sky.
multi-talented instrumentalist and such.
No, I'm like a Sky Racing commentator there, Jace. When the caller had disappeared, I was basically calling you, going across the room, making the return. He's back on the mic now. And, of course, everyone on the video will have seen it. But
Yeah.
those listening to the audio would have had no idea that you just wandered off. No
Well,
rules.
They will
rules.
now because we've
No rules.
both said it. Did you get the price? $16?
Yes, last time out was $12
12.
from the same RODM barrier draw.
All right.
Let's go quaddie.
If just quickly before the quaddie, if a 22 caliber pointed to your head AK-47,
Oh.
that'd be quite a long way. If you had one runner in this race, who would it be?
Picket Wire, 6.
I would probably go Kenneth Sharon. Black and Gold, no.
Nope.
Majestic Tooth, no.
Nope.
Rook?
I just didn't like that last start, but I do think it can lead. So, do we say can improve?
I don't
Let's
think
put
it'll
it in.
Yeah.
You don't think it will?
No, actually, it very well might.
Right, let's put it in.
I'll be having it in. I've already worked out mostly my quaddies for the game plan.
Okay.
I'll be having it in the second here, but let's put it in.
Yeah.
Sharon, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Constant, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Picket Wire, yes.
Absolutely.
Dichotomy, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Rapid Return, yeah.
Yeah, you got to. Yep.
Royal Charlotte, yeah.
If you're saying yeah, I'll put it in. Yep.
And the other two.
Yeah. Wow. So hang on. Have we only left out 1 or 2?
We've left out
2.
two.
Black and Gold for Shippy and Majestic Tooth for Kate and Kari.
We'll stagger these up. This is the pod quad.
The pod quad. Anything can happen.
I'll be staggering
Oscar.
it up.
Oscar, what?
I'll tell you what, I saw her. Someone can't go into your bathroom. You didn't even know they were there.
Oh, goodness.
It's not my fault.
You
You're lying,
It's
Mr.
true.
Pistorius.
You've been
probably
dining
shouldn't
on that
have
for
applied with it.
years and years.
Yeah, I have. Race 7. We used to watch the trial.
We did.
Race 7.
Hip
The
pocket.
Castlemaine.
Yeah, you would have done a few reads for Hip Pocket along the way, Jace. Hip Pocket Castlemaine Trotters Handicap.
I've spent a fair bit of time in Castlemaine as well. My cousin's got a
Ooh.
house there. He lives in England, but he's very wealthy, not like me.
Castlemaine or Castlemaine, Jace? Castle or Castle? It's actually...
I'm a castle man.
You're a castle, so am I.
I'm a dance. I'm a France.
Me too. There you go.
I'm a
Which
France.
is
I'm a Lance Justice.
very rare. But yeah, Lance is definitely Lance. Lance Justice speaking. It's definitely Lance.
Well, he's South Australian, and it's a South Australian thing to go Lance over Lance. So we're only honouring the great man and mentor of Smoke It Up and So Killer, among others. Right. Now, standing starts. There's not enough of them. There's none for paces, you'll find in Victoria.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Jason has just said there are not enough standing starts. So, more standing starts. So, you've pinned your colours right there, Jace.
Well, it's to be honest, it's a subject we will cover over the journey, the maelstrom of the next year or so. It's not something that really turns me on too much, but I've always said if you're going to have standing starts, you got to have plenty.
I agree with that 100%.
Because you've got to create form lines. Of
course you do.
It will suits particular horses, all the rest of it. So you can't have them here and there.
I used to say, it's funny, isn't it? We had about, 8 or 10% of all pacing races were stands, but they were all our biggest races. So you were shining the spotlight on horses that didn't know what they were doing at that very moment at the start.
They're used to charging the gate, and then you're asking punters,
everyone, watch this. Look, we've got a country cup here.
Have a go. I know you like to bet on footy. I know you like to bet on the thoroughbreds. How about you just throw your money away on this thing that you've got no idea what's going to happen? But fortunately in this race, there is a trotter that I've had a big opinion of for a long time, and it's all coming to fruition. Virginia Clowers.
Yes.
For ages I've thought she was a good horse, and she's proven it now.
She really has.
She's the one to beat. The tricky one to assess, of course, is All the Tricks now with Lara J Farm. Well, they could make horses walk on water. I know you're a Richard Dawkins man. I'm more of the faith of the Jesus walking on the water. So, who knows what All the Tricks might do? You pretty much you'd have to watch the market. You couldn't leave it out of quaddies. No, and the other one I definitely think has got a big chance is Lady Adelia. So they would be if I was being really, really restrictive, they would be my 3. But Virginia Cloud is the one to beat.
I want to go back to something you said last week about drivers. We were talking about Greg Sugar's always picking the winning driver to drive the horse he thinks will win if he had the choice, right? With the Jess Tubbs runners. I note Chris Venocio is driving how do I say that?
Hephaestus Phoenix.
Hephaestus Phoenix, and he's got Ross Payne on Lady Adelia. Do we read anything into that?
No, well, he was a classic example. Now, also with the situation last week, there are circumstances that we might not have a clear insight into where owners or a particular owner,
I see,
may put the foot down, drop the navicular, and demand that a certain driver drive their horse, and that can happen sometimes. Chris Venocio is the complete alternate example where a lot of the time I don't think he goes with the best chance. He goes with the horse that might need him more, or they've got a relationship at home, quirks.
Okay. Understood.
That's my take.
Okay.
What do you reckon?
I think you're onto something, Jace. I'm with you on Virginia Clowers too. I think very, very nice horse. That's my top pick. I don't have too big an opinion on the race, other than to say if the place price was massive about Dell's Destiny, I could possibly entertain something at any old odds on that horse. It was very unlucky not to win. Very unlucky not to win last start.
Did it used to be with Snoozer?
Yeah, I reckon it was Chris Venocio back in the day. Now with Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie Conroy, of course. Well, I'm not playing heavily, and neither are you.
No.
As I'm putting things in front of me.
I like Virginia Clowers to win, so I think we're the same there.
Right as it used to be with all the riding on it. Where's it? No, there it is.
And if you are going through the offices down there at HQ, I believe the museum, Jace, you can still find thousands of those guides with your scribbles all over them under your desk over there.
and a couple of mugs that are left on the desk, which are now creating the kind of bacteria that might be able to prove antiviral to the next major pandemic. I know there's a bit of bird flu coming around again, H5N1, which was supposed to be the first of the Copes. Quaddies, we're not keen on playing, so I've named
quaddies.
my three. I could play wider. Is there anything else you're desperate to throw in?
Can you give me the numbers again for you? You went Lady Adelia, the 10, and you went Virginia
All the
Flowers,
tricks.
11,
All
and you
the
went All the Tricks,
two,
number 2.
Yeah, 2, 10, and 11. With so these are the other ones that will go in a stagger. Cormayu,
What number?
Hephaestus Phoenix. So 4, 5.
Yeah, I agree with. It's the potty quaddy. We're gonna have to play wide again, aren't we? Or are we just? How are we going to do this?
No, because we
actually?
want to win. We want to win. We're not just doing it.
No. Well, then we might. Okay. Well,
All right. I'll give you those ones. Cormayu, yes or no?
I'm saying no to everything. We've both said get on Virginia Clouds for the win. Let's go one out.
You're diagnosable. You are diagnosable.
We have played hugely wide in the last league. We can't play. We've got to tighten right up.
2, 10, 11.
But then I want to include number 5.
Well, 2, 5. 10.
FAS. All right. Well, now I think we're being too loose. But anyway,
you can only include it. I'm going to give you one more chance to pronounce the name. We can only include this runner if you get this pronunciation right. 3,
all right.
2, 1.
Hephaestus Phoenix.
2, 10, 11. No, 2, 5, 10, 11. 2, 5,
No,
10.
no, bugger it. I stuffed up. I'm killing it out. It's 2, 10, 11. I don't have enough of an opinion to argue for it, so let's tighten it up. 2, 10, 11.
Final leg of the quaddie. I'm very keen here.
Yep.
I'm going to show you my map.
All right.
Right now. Now, there's some speed drawn inside Kiyang Tokyo. You're a Western Districts boy. Big fan of the dairy farmers out there in Terang, the Lee clan.
They are great harness people down there in the southwest Bon, and I want to see them thriving for years to come. So, yes, I absolutely am a southwest trots man. I grew up that way.
I will say this. They never have the biggest team. I'll declare this. There are no better trainers in Australia.
What do you? Sorry, than who?
I thought you passed out then.
No, well, you said that last week. This is when I get a little stunned and I don't.
So I'm just going to take you back for a moment. Focus with me. Who were we just discussing?
Southwest trainers in general. That's what we were.
No.
Are you saying Marg Lee?
Marg, Paddy.
Okay. Because, well, yeah, Marg, Paddy, but then you got Matt Craven.
Oh, that's a separation of church and state. There is separation of powers.
But they're all very. I mean, this is what I was wondering, whether you were saying, okay, the Marg Lee stable or this group of trainers in that vicinity, whether it's, I think they call it Eckland South or it's South Eckland. I don't know. I think it's Eckland South.
South Eckland via.
Okay. Via something. Yes, it was all.
Anyway, so
it's near Terang. Yep. And
just to clarify, for all those watching and listening, I was talking about the Lee clan, inclusive of Marg and Paddy.
Well, yeah, I can't. Absolutely, I agree with that. Yep.
Thank you all for coming. Good night. So,
and they place their horses super well. When they come to town, they are there to win, and they dominate Terang, obviously, and they dominate other tracks around the southwest. But the dominance of Terang is just brilliant. I mean, they place their horses well. They set them for the right races.
Well, do you remember going back? I don't know, 12, 18 months ago, they were doing big refurbishments out there.
Mm-hmm.
They must have been on the Eckland side. And there was just this slight little drop-off while they were doing that. And it's been a long time since it was completed, I believe. But since then, there's no one better. There's no one better.
They're bloody hard workers too, and they're good people.
The dairy farmers.
My oath.
And I love milk. Do you have Kiyang Tokyo in front as I do?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's got blazing speed. The mum was very good, Kiyang Secret. I think it is. What price is Kiyang Tokyo on the?
I can only give you the .org.au bet prices.
What phone number is that?
I
have my phone on me.
Can't remember what the number was back in the day.
How could I?
But I remember there was multiple bets up on what was that horse again? Kate Dandy's 100 to 1 shot that started about 5 to 2.
And 5 to 2 on.
Remember that? And it nearly won if it just gets going earlier.
You have to keep bringing that up, don't you? That was
I know I do. I'll never forget it. It's $3.20 for the Tontine winner.
Yeah, I'll be having it.
Yep.
And once again, I'm a sucker for punishment. In fact, I'm not, because Vanquish Stride over the journey has done the
honestly.
right thing by me.
Yep.
And I think, so there's only 2 scenarios I see playing out here, Coates.
Yep.
Tell me if you, once again, I concur to you, sir, or you disagree. King Tokyo gets a bloodless lead.
Yep.
Right? Shanlu probably has to go to the breeze in that situation.
Yep.
Shanlu has only been in the breeze once in 9 starts for Emma Stewart. I don't think it's a real breeze horse. So
Nope.
King Tokyo then is clearly the one to beat.
100%. There's nothing that would want to hold it out. I think it'll run to the top and nearly win, but I'm pretty sure we will both concur on the other horse who you want to be just keeping an eye on in this race.
Vanquish.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
Because it's graded even better here than last time out when you've called it at any old odds and it was driven for luck, let's be honest, and it's rattled home and finished right on their backs. And it's actually not a bad thing because it steps into this race, which, apart from Tokyo with a massive upside, it's got everything else covered.
as Albert Einstein reminded us some time ago, time is not a constant. The time-space continuum. But when you're in that situation over a short trip like Vanquish was, you are totally dependent on the early times, aren't you? So
Yes.
and that's what we need here. So I'll just give you the alternate scenario. I know what you're saying, they wouldn't want to hold it out. 2 of the horses drawn inside of King Tokyo are trained by Anthony Butt and Sonia Smith, and he's driving one of them. So if King Tokyo doesn't ping straight across, I'm not so sure that I concur with you that there won't be a little bit of a battle at that point. And if they really burn it up,
Yep.
and then Shanlu wants to get involved and King Tokyo's working to get to the front, Vanquish Stride's going to look like a nice bet.
Yeah,
That's why I'm having something 1 by 3, 1 by 4.
Yep.
But King Tokyo is the one to beat because I've seen this horse when it gets out, it hasn't got master speed, has it? It just goes.
My summary, Jace, was I really like King Tokyo. Obviously, it's a nice horse.
Yeah.
If he were to find the lead easily here and dictate, he would win. Vanquish Stride is graded super well, lost no admirers last time out. And if you get a silly price again, have something on as a saver. You've got me thinking a little bit there, though, and I concur, sir. If Tokyo pings to the front and leads, yep, beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair point. If they're trying to make it work at least and hold it out, yes, spot on. It just helps us with Vanquish, doesn't it? I'd be interested to see what odds Vanquish opens.
Well, I think it says $12.
What did it say last week when it actually opened? What did it open? Silly odds, didn't it?
Yeah, and it got out.
And it got out. It just kept drifting.
Well, in the end, that was right because it
That's true.
didn't have the circumstances to win. But they're the 2 bets I'll be having. Vicky in Tokyo, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, Vanquish Stride. We are in devastating concurrence on this one, which I enjoy because it hasn't happened too often in the first couple of weeks. Quaddies, final leg. So those 2. What are your thoughts quickly on Lincoln River for the Queen herself?
Yeah.
Keza Manning. Is that a bit of a bad cold?
It's a nice
I'm thinking
horse.
of her.
Get well soon, Kez.
Love Kez.
Love Kez, my oath. I think Lincoln River, obviously nothing went right in the Tontine. Went third to King Tokyo there. Once it was where it was in the run, it was never going to beat that horse.
Yep.
Stuck on pretty bravely. Totally different scenario to the 2 times it's had so far for Kez in Australia, where it's had to work really hard. It's going to be just on the pegs. So you don't know what to expect. So I don't know, maybe you have to include it because we don't know what it can do from a soft draw.
All right. Anything else? I'm leaving Shanley out.
So am I. I don't like it at all.
Can't win
here.
from out there. I don't think. I'm risking it.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
Anything else? Get a Guernsey.
Look, it wouldn't totally shock me if Clyde Menace bobbed up there from the pole. The Julie Douglas stable was absolutely on fire last week. Gets a soft draw, and when those horses are well placed and get soft draws, they can bob up. But I don't want to play it in the quaddie.
So we're playing. Are we including Lincoln River or not?
I just feel like
let's do it.
Yeah, I think we should.
So
We'll 4,
include
8, and 10.
4, 8, and 10, and it is a race that there's a good chance I'll be playing through the game plan. And also tomorrow we'll have our early thoughts.
Nice
on the website. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jordan will be standing by the great man behind the scenes, behind the
Michael
curtains,
Jordan.
like the Wizard of Oz, Michael Jordan. He's yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He gave up the Washington Wizards and the Chicago White Sox and the last dance, and he's decided to join.
What?
He's decided to join Pace Setters AU.
I don't think we'll be talking. Well, I don't think we'll have much to offer with race 10. Race 9, very price dependent here for the Bonbang.
Talk to me, Bombang.
I'll take, I think, on the on HRV bet, Jasper's 320. That might be good enough. What's berries and cherries? $5.
450. 450.
I'd be happy to back both of them. They had a sterling struggle between the two of them all the way up the straight in their qualifier for this particular contest, and Jasper was just good enough. Now, berries and cherries probably went better, but I think Jasper's just the best horse in the race, so I'll be going with it. Majority it, maybe all of it on Jasper, but not a massive bet because you've got to overcome difficulties. Berries and cherries, major danger. Are you with me or not?
I love berries and cherries. I think it's a great bet. A great bet, and I
Do you
think the
prefer
danger-
berries or cherries?
Yeah,
Reminds me of my Felvo
berries.
fruit days.
Berries, actually, but no, yeah, another good. You've done some good work there. No, I like berries and cherries and Jasper, very similar, but I just thought berries and cherries overall record. I like that last run. I think Donna Castles will just
Always
be.
liked the horse.
Yeah, it's a nice horse. It's well on form, historical form in this race. It's perfectly placed.
Yeah.
Prolific Country Cups performer.
Yeah.
She goes close. So, yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. I like berries and cherries and Jasper, but I lean to berries and cherries. Malecki was a bit of a heartbreaker, though, last
Yeah.
time out. I'd had it black booked for ages. It comes out and wins. It's been in
Was
super
it your one black
consistent
book, though?
form. Well, it would have been that night, actually. It was super run that night at Melton. But it's outside the draw, I think. That's why it's got gate 13. And that's the way it
Yes.
bobs up and wins, right? So, well, it's not a quaddie, so we don't have to include it. But if Malecki was 20-1 again, I'd probably have something on it. But I
Didn't
like
look like it
berries
had
and
any
cherries.
chance at the top of the straight, Evan. That's Malecki. That's the Malecki way.
It's a funny horse like that. It comes from impossible, ridiculous positions, and
Well,
it is very strong late.
it's very Conroy camp, isn't it? Because they don't stop.
Yep.
As Clayton
100%.
Tonkin would say, there's no quitting them. But the price will be crucial here because if Jasper comes up $2 and berries and cherries comes up $4.50,
Yep.
$5, maybe I'm more inclined berries and cherries. So that's going to sway our thinking from a punting perspective, isn't it?
It will, absolutely. And I think I've factored that in when I've tipped the 10. I'm assuming, Jace, there'll be value.
You know what they say? You know what they say about assuming.
As long as someone who's got half a brain is doing it, it's all good. Is that the saying?
Makes an ass out of you and me, an ass. Right. Final event. But before we get there, I
Yep.
just want a quick anecdote from the Felvo Fruit Days on Birdie Question. For me, that I'll never forget, Josh Aiken regaling all and sundry with the story of how the bananas that we eat now, I'm a banana fan. Bananas are my favourite fruit.
I
The
remember
bananas
this
we
episode.
eat now
Yep.
are not,
I
we are
remember
getting, we
this.
are getting second tier B-side, B-roll, inferior bananas.
The bee bananas.
A virus
Mm.
took out. How good were those other bananas? How good were those other bananas? Yeah, sorry.
We'll have to get Josh Aiken on because I think that there's got to be a part 2 to that.
I just want to learn about more fruits. Alabar Sapling Stakes, the baby girls, the freshman fillies, as I used to write incessantly.
Fancy
I
putting this as race 10 on the program, Jace.
Those young horses have to stay up all night. Well, it's only 9:30. I've got no strong opinion. I think Kez's fillies very good. You've got a couple from the Clayton Tonkin camp, the All Conquering. Probably Let Her Roll's going to come up a short price, but then you've got a debutante from Lara J Farm. All I can advise is to watch the markets. But unless something dramatic is happening in my life, I won't be playing in this particular contest. Cody Winnell.
Same, watch the market. And it just takes me to something I will bring up for another podcast, and that is, Jace, the ridiculousness of some of the form comment you read in papers over the history of form comment, mainly in the thoroughbreds. I think Harness has actually always done it quite well, because Harness, and what we're trying to do here, it's honest, it's real, right? But when every horse in the race is an each-way chance or consider, what does consider mean? What does consider? Well, I am. That's why I've got the form guide in my hands.
Take on Trust.
Take on Trust. That's a good one. Both totes. Don't worry about fixed odds. Just play both totes.
You literally, back in the day, you are right. You could have gone through every single runner, and it's advised you in some way. It's left the obligation with you.
Not out of it. Well, no, it's in the race.
Not out of it. It's 900 to 1. It hasn't finished top 10 for the last 6 years. Don't blame me if it rolls in.
Even Prefer Others feels soft to say, well, I never said, never said don't back it. I just said prefer others. How soft?
But I only meant two others.
Comment?
That was my third pick.
And you're not going to get that on this podcast. We might get it wrong occasionally, but at least you know where we stand. We'll write off a horse that wins. That's okay. You've got to take a position, Jace, don't you? That's what the punters want. They want to know what your thoughts are. Imagine if we sat here for an hour and just said every horse has got each way claims.
I love watching you get impassioned with that jacket on and that little pink pocket square and getting all animated.
Do you?
Just don't get near a keyboard.
No, I won't do that.
By the way, you are the other potential perpetrator in the true crime documentary podcast, The Spacebar Murderer. But I think we've worked out Paul Amy he was the perp.
All right. That's
we're just done and dusted.
We are.
We've gone a while again, but I'll tell you what, I say we want to tighten these up, but the truth is, every race in its merit and bullshit bans for days.
100%, Jace.
So we'll do what we do. And
we will.
Week 1 was fantastic. I can't tell if it's because we were brilliant, because I thought we were jiggy jogging, or just because we're a wonderful alternative at the moment. But we're very much enjoying it. And I really feel, I know it's only been going now for a week, but I can already feel the momentum building, as long as you hopefully allow me to publish this first article.
Well,
I'll send it to you soon.
So I've got to say this too, Jace. I think, the glory days on Trot's Twitter, where we had, all sorts of opinions being thrown around, good, bad, otherwise, it didn't matter, right? The game was being talked about. I want to see that back.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm hoping this and others can sort of fire that up, Jace.
And talk about it in a fun way.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that people have gotten involved and there's been DMs and all the rest. And even there was, I won't name names, but there was a pro punter who DM'd me, and it didn't look like I had a great night last week. But if we do it properly and we analyse the races properly, discuss the maps, it's just food for thought. It's another perspective. And hopefully, in the first few weeks, hopefully maybe this week, even though it's a terribly tough meeting, we're just going to absolutely, we're going to bomb.
It just
a big result.
Yeah, we will eventually. It could be this week, but just I hope it doesn't bloody rain for the next 2 days, Jason. And all of a sudden the meeting gets washed out and no one's listening to us. So listen early before the meeting. It won't. It'll go.
And 1 minute footy chat. Who's going to finish ahead of one another later? You're a Bomber fan. I'm a Pie fan.
Oh, look, I had no expectations going into the season, so I think Collingwood will. But I think Essendon's one goal this year, Jay, should be to make the 8 and win a final. Get that monkey off the back. If we do that, it's been a great year.
I think we're at $3 or $3.20 now, but about 2 weeks ago.
Mate, you got 16 players out this week. That's extraordinary.
But nevertheless, with Collingwood's ability to be able to get over the line,
Mm.
I know people will just be saying, enough from you, Bond, just talk to us. They were $4 to make top four. And I did consider having an unusually large bet, but I can't bet on Collingwood in that way because it's double the pain if it doesn't work out. I can't find it hard to bet on their game.
That makes sense because, if they win, you enjoy it anyway. So
we should be talking about this off air. That's enough. That's been week 2 of the Tongue Tie Off podcast. Very fun. I reckon you're like an Emma Stewart Clayton Tonkin runner. I reckon you've made big strides on the form this week. I'm still not sure about Gordon not finding the front.
yeah, look, I admit I had to get the iron more, and I'm still getting there. But yeah, I feel better about this week's, regardless of what happens. I feel like I'm reading it better, Jace. But I still think you're the form guru, mate.
Well, it's easy to hand it over. Love you, brother. That's been a wrap. And by the way, next week I'll find a way to get the guitar plugged in.
Bring it on. Love it. This has been Tongue Tie Off, signing off. Good luck Saturday night.
Bonjour, bro.